Hey, this is Tracy, coming back on just to let you guys know that I'm going to start living in my truths on Wednesday at 7 o'clock to begin this adventure and this powerful information that can help the still suffering and addicts and alcoholics and family members that need this information to try to understand us and how we live and what this addiction of disease turns us into. I just feel is very well needed, and with this social media is just a great way of putting it out, and to try to help others, to learn to help themselves and their family, friends, and, people that you love. It's going to be based on the I, because as an recovering addict, that's what we do. We keep things based on the I. I'm so willing to share my strength and hopes and information on how I became clean, and share all my life story of how I became dirty. You know what I mean? And how I became this addict unknowingly and not knowing that it can happen to me. Because the first thing we say, we have a good time when it's good, but we'll say we'll never let that happen to us. You know what I mean? And I am one who said that many a times, and I became a us, So I am so eager to share and offer the information and education that I have that got me clean. I am not responsible for anybody to get clean or to believe or take in what I say. I'm just offering the information and the education because that's how it happens. It's in a program called NA and AA, and it's a bunch of us that goes there and we listen to each other's stories, and everybody's telling their story honestly and not being judged, because at the end of the day, most of our stories are the same. And if you haven't done or gotten to some of the places that we have been, if you continue to use, I promise you, you will. Some of these stories are heartbreaking. Some of these stories is just unbelievable that we have, done these things and turned into this monster, but this disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful, and it is vicious. So you have to learn these things and learn about how it works in order to get right, so you have to become honest, and ready and willing, to even get started. So I hope that we can get started with some of our still suffering, and I hope we can open up and be willing to, listen, so that you can hear, and then you might can see and understand how this beast works in us, because it is a disease, and this disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful, but we're going to talk about a lot of things. It's so many different categories that we're going to be talking about with this, and I am a real and raw person when it comes to recovery. I keep it real and I keep it honest. I have no shame to my game, for the worst of it or the good of it. I know that I am still an addict. I will always be an addict for eternity, for the rest of my life, but as long as I say that one word, 2 letters, 1 syllable, no, I'm going to be okay. And I use what we call our medication of the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. That is our medication. That is what we go to. It's just like you get a headache and you go get a Tylenol. Well, I get a headache and I get that little voice talking to me. I jump right into my tools, because that's what they're placed for and designed for, to help us to stay clean. So I can't wait, for this thing to fall, because I told my higher power, if he would get me clean when he did, that I would always give this back. And I have not stopped yet, so I am just a soldier, for him when it comes to this. And I just love helping, the next suffering addict or alcoholic, because I know and I am living proof that it works if you work it. If you could get through the tunnel of this crazy, crazy world, and there is a comeback, it's going to be a lot of questions you're probably going to want to ask. It's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to say, but this is my opinion. So I want everybody to understand that. This is my life of living as an addict and now a recovering addict. So I can talk the talk because I've walked the walk, but I can only give you what I walked, and talk what I know today that keeps me right. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm telling you what to do or how to do it, or this is the way that you have to do it. You will pick up the pieces of that broken puzzle, for you yourself to fix the puzzle, so we'll talk about all those type of things. Again, I keep it real and raw, because it's a language that we have as sick people, addicts and alcoholics. We understand each other. So we have to understand the language of recovery, how we understand it, so some can be real raw. Some you may be, you may can't handle. Some you may not be ready to handle. Some things you may not be ready to submit, or want to hear, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or Indian chief. I'll say that again, but I do know what worked for me may not work for you. But I do know what I can share can help another suffering, so, and that's fact, so if you, are willing to listen so that you can hear, and you'll be able to get the understanding and see, and that will help you to learn how to make rational versus irrational decisions and learn how to come to believe, so it's a beautiful way to, it's just so much that is not being told and not you don't hear in facilities and different places, because this thing has really gotten real. You know what I mean? And a lot of things today we all know is money, 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 money. But, this is cost nothing. This is just one addict giving it to the next, as I got it and how it's supposed to be done. And my higher power chose me, and I made that promise that I will always give back. So I'm going to keep that today, because we all live one day at a time, and tomorrow's a mystery, and yesterday is history. So I'm going to stay into today, and speak as it comes for me to speak, on these topics. So I can't heal nobody and I can't save nobody, but I can help somebody, that wants to be helped. So I hope you guys tune in, and we can get started. It's pleasant. I mean, it's good. It'll be good, sad, bad, happy. Learning how to get clean don't have to be sad. Everything don't have to be down. You know what I mean? Because as we go along and you start believing and putting your pieces together, it gets a little simple, we call it. And then, you'll start feeling these emotions that was taken from you, disconnected from your thinking, to allow you to do all these things that we were doing and what it have us do out there in our run, So again, we'll talk about a whole lot, you know what I mean? And I can't wait to do that. So hopefully you guys are tuned in on Wednesday at 7 and we can start these episodes. Okay. I'll see you then.